communities, government and the security agencies will be relying on you to monitor the several different communities.
President Buhari meets with northern monarchs, tax royal fathers to find lasting solutions to the challenges of security. Transportation Minister challenges contractors on the December deadline for the completion of the Lagos-Ibadan rail project.
Both countries to support these refugees, to protect them, as well as to bring them back home in safety and in dignity.
Federal government flags off repatriation of Nigerian refugees in Cameroon. Good evening, I am Jumma Yusuf and this is NTA Network News. We are broadcasting live on the network service of the NTA. With me tonight is Naomi Apoko in Maiduguri. Thanks for joining us. We begin with the presidency as in furtherance of its strategic consultations with broad spectrum of the Nigerian society towards finding lasting solution to the challenges of security confronting the country. President Muhammadu Buhari has engaged northern monarchs for more inputs. The president pleaded with the royal fathers to genuinely do their part in securing Nigeria as his administration sustains efforts at tackling and dealing with all forms of unlawful and criminal activities. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details.
This consultation, therefore, is to engage you, our royal fathers, so that collectively we can arrive at solutions to any and all security problems in the country.
President Muhammadu Buhari described as welcoming the concerns and contributions of the northern traditional rulers in the task of addressing the prevailing challenges. He, however, said being the closest to the populace at the grassroots level and feel the pulse of the people in their respective communities, the monarchs need to do more towards the restoration of normalcy in the land.
You are the traditional authorities in your communities. Government and the security agencies will be relying on you to monitor the several different communities and people coming in and out your areas. I enjoin you to use your institutions to promote peace and tolerance, as well as encourage youth in your respective communities to identify with government policies and programs that will improve their living standards and development of their communities.
The Ministry of Police Affairs, he explained, was created towards ensuring that the Nigeria Police Force is fully equipped with advanced technology and provided all the necessary requirements to perform more effectively and efficiently. Government, he promised, will step up action against crimes of kidnapping, banditry, and other forms of criminal attacks resulting in needless deaths and plunging Nigerians to untold hardship.
This administration is determined to enforce the law, prosecute lawbreakers, and secure an atmosphere of peace for all Nigerians wherever they live, and also protect our communities from all forms of crimes. This is both in our interest as an administration and the interest of all Nigerians.
The military, the president said, will continue to be brought in when needed to complement the work of the police, including possible deployment of troops on certain highways, as well as the use of Air Force assets to bomb criminal hideouts. The Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, who led the delegation to the State House, assured the president of full support of the traditional rulers in the task of securing Nigeria for a prosperous future.
We believe we are major stakeholders. We believe in all the words we have heard from you in the last 4.5 years. Therefore, we want to assure you of our total commitment, a totally undiluted commitment to see Nigeria, the Republic of Nigeria, survive as one of the best countries in the world. We are always ready to help you. And in helping you, we are helping our great country, Nigeria.
President Muhammadu Buhari told the monarchs that directives have been issued to appropriate federal authorities to speedily approve licensing for states requesting the use of drones to monitor forests and other criminal hideouts. CCTVs, he said, are also to be installed on highways and other strategic locations so that criminal activities can be exposed, effectively monitored and open to actionable intervention. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari is reassuring the people of Borno State that his administration will continue to do everything within its powers towards bringing to an end the Boko Haram menace for lasting peace, stability and socio-economic development. The president stated this when the state governor Babagana Umara Zulum briefed him on the resurgence of terrorist attack in parts of the state. Again, Adamu Sambo has the report.
Governor Babagana Umara Zulum, who met President Muhammadu Buhari behind closed doors, described the recent terrorist attacks in parts of the state as disturbing.
There was an attack in Gubio. There was an attack in Magumeri. Local government secretariats are burned down. Health centers were burned down. Vehicles were burned down. Communication gadgets were burned down.
He said President Muhammadu Buhari is seriously concerned over the development, describing it as unfortunate and intolerable.
The president has assured the government and people of Borno State that he will do everything possible to ensure that the properties and lives of the citizens of Borno State are being protected.
Governor Zulum therefore called on the people of the state to remain calm and law-abiding, saying his administration is committed to strengthening the civilian JTF and hunters to complement the efforts of the nation's military and the police towards totally eliminating the remnants of the criminal elements.
We must also address the root causes of the Boko Haram insurgency, which is not limited to endemic poverty, pervasive illiteracy, poor social and economic outcome, unemployment, environmental degradation, drug abuse, among others. We have to ensure that there is military presence in almost all the locations. We are very much aware of their numerical strength, but nonetheless, their absence can create a very serious battle. And that has informed the recent attacks. The presence of Nigerian military in almost all the locations, especially in the local government headquarters, need not to be overemphasized. Dialogue is also very important. Those people that are forced into the system who are willing to repent should be given the opportunity to come back home.
The Borno State Governor, however, explained that unlike what obtained in the past, no community has been sacked or taken over by the insurgents. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari will depart Abuja Sunday for Japan to participate in the 7th Tokyo International Conference on African Development from the 28th to 30th of August 2019. A statement from the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says President Buhari will be participating for the second time after attending TICAD 6 in Nairobi, Kenya in 2016. With the theme, Africa and Yokohama, sharing passion for the future. President Buhari will deliver Nigeria's statement during plenary session 3, in which he will appraise Nigeria-Japan relations and takeaways from TICAD 6. The president will also attend other major and side events in Japan and hold bilateral meeting with Prime Minister Abe. Meets chief executive officers of some Japanese companies with huge investment in Nigeria. Formed in 1993, TICAD is the largest international conference held in Japan that provides an open forum that generates innovative discussion among various stakeholders on African development. President Buhari will be accompanied by Governors Babagana Umara Zulum of Borno, Abdurrahman Abdurrazak Kwara, and Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, as well as ministers and other top government officials. The president is expected back in Nigeria on Saturday, August 31st. Still with the presidency, the federal government says it will maintain focus on health and education, but solicited the support of the well-to-do individuals in the country towards achieving the desired success in the critical sectors of the economy. President Muhammadu Buhari stated this while receiving in audience the former ambassador of the United States to the United Nations, Mr. Andrew Young, accompanied by board of Emeka Offor Foundation in Nigeria. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari takes pride in the attainment of 3 years without a recorded polio incident in Nigeria, achieved by his administration with local and international support, describing it as something not only to cherish, but one that also requires sustained vigilance. The best asset to give to the people, he emphasized, is health and education, so as to free them from the tendencies of underdevelopment, especially religious and ethnic manipulations. His administration, he said, is seeking inclusive development without leaving the majority of the nation's populace behind. President Buhari commended the social and humanitarian activities of Sir Emeka Offor, especially in translating the successes achieved into social service, thereby helping the government in many ways. Ambassador Andrew Young, who expressed happiness with Nigeria's effort at polio eradication, commended President Buhari's leadership of the country, saying, at a time when nations of the world are pulling apart, Nigeria is stable and secure. On his part, the former U.S. ambassador to Nigeria, Howard Jetta, described President Buhari's re-election as a real boom for the future of Nigeria. He outlined ongoing efforts by Offor and Young foundations to supply millions of books to schools, ensure the complete eradication of polio, attack river blindness, and in the near future start a campaign against cervical cancer, for which Nigeria holds a world record. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Similarly, American politician, diplomat, and civil rights activist Ambassador Andrew Young says Nigeria now has the chance to strike the final blow to end wild polio by ensuring that every child is vaccinated as soon as possible. This was when he led a delegation on a courtesy visit to Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the presidential villa, Abuja. The former congressman commends the efforts of the federal government and progress made so far towards the eradication of wild polio in the country. Ambassador Andrew Young, however, notes that the fight against polio is not for the government alone, but must be joined by all stakeholders, including the civil societies.
This is a struggle that's been going on for 70 years, and we're almost there. And that civil society has a strong role to play in education and health and in every aspect of life. The Vice President told us that they expect to move now to free education for every Nigerian up to 9th grade. That is a revolution.
In another development, a Nigerian entrepreneur, Sir Emeka Offor, is using the occasion of the 3 years of wild polio to appreciate donor agencies and other stakeholders who have contributed their quota in achieving the feat, especially former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Andrew Young.
Don't rest. We should continue all those things we are doing: advocacy, continuous immunization, creating access. If you create access, then children will be immunized. And then we monitor our borders because the virus travels.
Minister of Information and Culture Alhaji Lai Mohammed was amongst the dignitaries that attended the event. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has tasked parastatals under his watch to redouble efforts in the next level agenda for greater achievements. He stated this when heads of parastatals under his ministry paid him a congratulatory visit. Kenneth Nanim reports.
These are familiar faces to the Information and Culture Minister, Alhaji Lai Mohammed. You may call them the pilots navigating the ship of parastatals and agencies under the ministry. They converged on the minister's office to felicitate with him on his reappointment and also assured him of more commitments in ensuring that Nigerians are kept abreast of government policies and programs in the next level agenda.
Collectively, we have come to commit ourselves to giving you the same kind of support we had given.
Minister Lai Mohammed believes his reappointment by President Muhammadu Buhari is an indication of the ministry's achievements in the last 4 years.
There was only one reward for hard work. It's actually more work. The President has recognized our modest effort. The only way we can reciprocate is by redoubling our efforts.
Meanwhile, the Information and Culture Minister has also received a delegation from Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, Bonn, who paid him visit in Abuja. Lai Mohammed reviews that President Muhammadu Buhari has approved a wide range of reforms in the broadcasting industry, including the licensing of online radio and television stations.
If anybody listens to what's being said on radio or television, you think this country is at war, or that Christians actually cannot live with Muslims, or that there's a dichotomy between the North and the South. I think we need to appeal to you to please use your platform for the unity and cohesion of this country.
You have brought life to the industry. You've been able to work closely with the practitioners. As you may know, Honorable Minister, today we have companies like Netflix. Netflix is not a Nigerian company, but Netflix in a year makes more than $1 billion in this area. Yet they are not licensed.
Both parties identified collaboration of all stakeholders as key to achieving the desired goal. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
From information to transportation, the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, has directed contractors handling the Lagos-Ibadan Rail project to be more proactive to actualize the December deadline set for the completion of the project. He gave the directive while on the spot assessment of the project in Lagos.
By the end of September, all the small stations, not by the Director, there's a case here for technical meeting on Monday. They told me, yeah, when the time is up, I said, tell me when you finish with the car, small station. And they said, 3 months.
You're watching the Network News on the NTA. Let's take our first commercial break. Do stay, don't go away.
You know, from day one, Globe makes life easier. They brought us per second billing, unbelievable data packages, and even an optic fiber cable to make sure we optimize. There are two things in our lives which depend on the communication and information, voice and data. Whether you sell, buy, learn, teach, serve, or lead, it really comes down those two things, voice or data. Today's world is all about you. You want what you want, how you want it, and Glow delivers. The freedom to use voice and data the way you like on every recharge. Easy.
Glow Yakata, the heavyweight voice and data plan. Recharge from 100 Naira and get a minimum 500 Naira to call all networks, plus up to 6 gigabytes of data to browse, chit-chat, WhatsApp and more. Dial *230# or buy your Glow SIM. Glow Unlimited.
Bayes University is a fully licensed university operating since 2011 and has grown to have 32 accredited programs in 6 faculties. This includes computer and applied sciences, management and social sciences, engineering, environmental sciences, law, and basic medical sciences. The university also offers postgraduate programs and foundation courses in a conducive learning environment with modern teaching facilities and high-quality national and international staff. Bayes University graduates have either progressed into respectable career positions or have obtained postgraduate degrees from different parts of the world with distinctions. Call or visit www.bayesuniversity.edu.ng. Bayes University, Abuja. Learn to live.
Keep your white fabrics glowing whiter, your home sparkling and free from germs with Hypo. Make a dazzling impression every time and let your whites speak for you.
My wife. Any other wife is a counterfeit.
Oh, Mama. Hypo. Endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. Now available in lime green.
Hello. Hi, Jenny. Can you supply 1,000 bottles of juice by noon?
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks, dear. Bye.
Hello?
Jenny.
Auntie, please, I need a loan. Hurry up! Hello?
The number cannot be reached.
Clean that up! Clean that up! The order is on the way.
Are you an entrepreneur looking for financing to grow your business? Here's good news. Development Bank of Nigeria now provides sustainable financing through commercial banks, microfinance banks, and other financial institutions with repayment terms of up to 10 years. Please do remember, paying back your loan in good time will give you access to more loans.
Development Bank of Nigeria. Financing sustainable growth.
His Royal Highness, the Emir of Gondu, Major General Muhammad Ilyas Bashar, CFR MNI, on behalf of the family of Al-Hajj Muhammad Saad Abu Bakr, CFR MNI, the Sultan of Sokoto, cordially invite the pleasure of friends and well-wishers to the wedding party of Fatima Abu Bakr and Mahmoud Abdullah Yuguda, which will take place at Sultan Bello Jumat Mosque, Sokoto. Date, Saturday, 21st August 2019. Time, 12 p.m. Announcer, Local Organizing Committee.
Uche, quickly send me the baby video.
Okay, ma.
Oh my goodness.
Data is oxygen, your #1 4G network nationwide. The very best from Glow.
It's good to know you're still there. The Republic of Chad is preparing for the conduct of parliamentary election, and INEC in Nigeria has offered to assist. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu made the offer while receiving a delegation of INEC in Chad in Abuja.
We want to Nigeria assist us about the logistic assistance. So, then my country, Chad, has many problems.
They have requested for assistance in the area of voter registration. We'll assist them. They have also indicated their concern in the area of security. There are so many citizens displaced in Chad as a result of the insurgency. We will make available to them our framework for voting by internally displaced persons, hoping that they will also find something useful in that. But I think the most important thing for us at this stage is to, as we have agreed, to set up some discussion at a technical level.
In another development, the Independent National Electoral Commission says it will not entertain any complaints arising from the conduct of party primaries in Kogi and Bayelsa states governorship elections in November 16th. INEC National Commissioner for Information Festus Okoye stated this while speaking to correspondent Mayor Ogidi in Abuja.
Kogi and Bayelsa states, shining bright at the political galaxy of Nigeria, as November 16th is the day of political reckoning for the two states to elect their governors. 59 political parties have indicated interest to conduct primaries in Kogi, while 58 in Bayelsa State. Taking a closer look at the two frontline political parties in this context, in Kogi State, 22 political heavyweights have indicated interest, 13 from the PDP and 16 eyeing the APC flag. In Bayelsa State, 21 racing for the party slot, while 7 gunning for the APC blessings. The success of the aspirants is at the mercy of the delegates. From INEC to the parties, elect their flag bearers between 18th of August to 15th of September 2019 and submit same latest 9th of September 2019, but on these conditions.
If a political party does not conduct party primary elections within the time frame provided in our schedule of activities and in our guidelines, if such a political party submits any list, the commission will not collect.
As the parties are busy with this electioneering and political activities, some electorates will also be busy at INEC centers from 2nd to 30th of September. INEC resumes the collection of PVCs in the 2 states.
We're also going to send bulk SMS to all those who have not collected their PVCs and to tell them to go and collect their PVCs.
After all these pre-election engagements, the candidates that will receive the anointing from their parties will test their popularity on the ballot. Mayor Ogidi, NTA News.
From electoral matters to the judiciary, the Kogi State National and State Assembly Election Petitions Tribunal sitting in Abuja has sacked Dino Milai as senator representing Kogi West Senatorial District. In a split judgment, the 3-member panel ordered for a fresh election to be conducted in the district. Smart Adeyemi filed a petition before the tribunal to contest the result, alleging that the process was plagued with irregularities and disorganization. 2 members of the panel agreed with the petitioner and annulled the election, while the chairman of the tribunal gave a minority judgment. Ensuring cordial working relationship among the executive and legislative arms of government and the leadership of the All Progressives Congress is key strategy that could fast-track government performances at all levels. National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshomole, while meeting a delegation of the Progressives Governors Forum at the party's National Secretariat, says the party will uphold platform for regular meetings. Saliu Abdullahi reports.
The National Secretariat of the All Progressives Congress came alive as it played host to representatives of the Progressive Governors Forum led by its chairman and Governor of Kebbi State, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu. Other members of the delegation include governors of Kano, Kwara, Yobe, and Niger States. Issues bordering on the need for stakeholders within the party to share ideas on how to collectively key into the next level agenda by sustaining the successes recorded within the first tenure of the APC-led government were highlighted as the thrust of the meeting held behind closed doors.
We believe our party has made a lot of progress in the 3 key areas that were reflected in our manifesto. But I see a lot to be done. And I'm sure working together at both the executive, the state, and federal, by the special grace of God, we will do better even in the second term. As to merit our party continuing to govern the country post-2023.
We are happy to participate, to cooperate with the chairman, with the NWC, in whatever we can do to strengthen our party. Let us appreciate collectively that in a multi-party democracy, there's somebody out there who will always say you have done wrong.
However, details of the meeting were not made public as both the governors and members of the National Working Committee declined comment. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Away from politics to other matters, the federal government has flagged off the repatriation of Nigerian refugees in Cameroon with the airlift of the first batch of 135 refugees who are indigenes of Adamawa State back to Yola, the state capital. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, who doubles as chairperson of the Tripartite Technical Working Group comprising Nigeria, Cameroon and the UN Commissioner for Refugees, supervised the repatriation exercise at the Marwa Salak International Airport in Cameroon. In her first official assignment as minister, Mitere Ipen reports.
These Nigerian refugees at the UN transit camp at the Marouak Salak International Airport in the far north region of Cameroon were anxious to return home. Predominantly from the northeast of Nigeria, most of them took refuge in Cameroon since 2013 in the heat of Boko Haram insurgency. Apparently, their infants were born here in Cameroon as refugees. 22-year-old Peter from Adamawa State has lived as a refugee in Cameroon for 5 years.
I didn't believe it that we will go back to our country, but now I see in my eyes they need us in our country. I am happy.
Living in emergency structures as these camp tents, coupled with occasional hostility from natives, are among challenges that make them long to return home. Their wait is over with the arrival of Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, to flag off the repatriation exercise, beginning with the airlift of the first batch of 135 Nigerian refugees back to Adamawa State.
This repatriation is very key because it demonstrates the willingness and readiness of both countries to support these refugees, to protect them, as well as to bring them back home in safety and in dignity.
The 135 Nigerian refugees, comprising 25 families, arrived Yola, the Adamawa State capital, and are being profiled in a transit camp preparatory to being resettled in their communities. The federal government says the repatriation will be a continuous exercise based on the achievement of peace in the northeast and the desire of more Nigerian refugees in Cameroon to return home. Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
The Ministry of Women Affairs is working to move to the next level in a new and comfortable environment that will enhance productivity and yield tangible benefits to every woman in the country. The Minister of Women Affairs visited the new edifice proposed to serve as the office of the ministry. Momso Damian Detti reports.
All these cars drove from the Federal Secretariat to this building, soon to be the permanent accommodation for the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. Barely 3 days after assuming office, the Minister, Pauline Talon, is at the site for an on-the-spot assessment of the Women House. The inspection of work accomplished and the vigor with which workers tried to beat the deadline reassured the Minister.
From what I've seen, yes, everything is almost ready. So we hope, by the grace of God, first week of September, we'll be able to move in. Looking at this office, I want to sincerely thank Mr. President and to assure Nigerian women that there's hope for this ministry.
More than 90%, as you can see for yourself. Try to complete it in 2 weeks' time, provided all conditions are met.
Furnitures are already arriving, most offices in the 5-story building, which has more than 50 office spaces located in the heart of Abuja. Momso Damian Detti, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. More reports after this break. Do stay.
Now me I go ask and say, why all of us go pay 100,000 naira? Say your husband, he want do 70th birthday. She now all of us marry up together. When her mama die, she collects money. Her papa die, she collects money. Her mama die, she collects. You remember when she talked, say she wanted her mama dead body.
Mama, you too talk.
Now you be glad when they dash me credit anyhow. Imagine, 40-year-old dead body. Why you they laugh now? Now try to bring your money.
Mama, no laugh.
No be you, Jare. Now some apropos customer there when they know they mind their own business. Whoa, I never even begin to give you her gist.
Glow and Maple. Get 5 times your recharge to call all networks. Recharge with *555*PIN#.
Make her sell my market finish first, eh? I will call you back. Oh.
Glow Unlimited.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Please, did you hear that?
Of course I did. That is Village Elmaster tune.
Eh? So, Auntie Amebo was not gossiping then?
Village Elmaster is celebrating 50 years.
50? Already? This is not a joke.
It is a national celebration. NTA and Radio Master family are commemorating 50 years.
Hey, please tell me, when is our golden jubilee?
It is from the 8th to 11th of October 2019.
I have to go and get ready. It's time to party.
Women. But we, men, will be there too.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Welcome back. The Invest in Nigeria Africa World Summit and Expo 2019 did not only offer the world an opportunity to see, explore and invest in the continent, but also recognize prominent and distinguished Africans who contributed to her development in different fields of endeavors. Benny Adams reports.
Angelo Peter Elosika, Chairman and Chief Coordinator, Africa Achiever Award 2019 and Invest in Africa World Summit and Expo 2019, handing over the Africa Achiever Award to a distinguished African of Nigerian descent, Chief Emeka Anyaoku, former Secretary General of the Commonwealth. It was one award the diplomat received with wide smile and appreciation, perhaps because it is to acknowledge his contribution to Africa during his diplomatic exploits, particularly his contribution to the struggle for independence and liberation of Namibia, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. The nostalgic Anyaoku recalls his experiences in a narrative he titled Africa Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow.
Democracy is a process. You go slowly along to consolidate and entrench democratic ideals in your country. Africa is still struggling to do that. Africa is still struggling to develop its socio-economic potentials.
Another distinguished Nigerian, the Chief Executive Officer, National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, Professor Mohamed Sani Haruna, also received the Africa Science and Technology Innovation Achiever Award 2019, alongside the Namibia Investment Center.
No country has been able to liberate itself, to have freedom, economic independence, which can only be achieved through the way the Asian tigers are moving and are achieving that.
The Nasini CEO, who conducted his co-awardees and others round the pavilion, highlighted various scientific and technological breakthroughs that will develop Africa. Benny Adams, NTA News.
The Board of Directors of the Nigerian Port Authority has been meeting with stakeholders in Rivers State with a view to instituting global best practices in Nigerian ports. Members of the board embarked on an oversight visit to the Onne seaport to get acquainted with challenges that frustrate effective service delivery. Dibabri Nweke reports that the Managing Director, Hadiza Bala Usman, was represented at the meeting held at Federal Lighter Terminal, Onne.
The board members, while interacting with industry players at the Nigerian Port Authority, Onne, Rivers State, underscored the need for effective service delivery at the ports based on international best practices. Chairman, NPA Board of Directors Emmanuel Lajide Adesoye noted that the board is poised to ensure that NPA is elevated to a higher pedestal and positioned as the hub for maritime business in the country.
Your welfare is our welfare. If you are prosperous, NPA will be prosperous, Nigeria will be prosperous, and individual Nigerians will be prosperous.
Representative of the Managing Director of Nigerian Ports Authority says shippers deserve excellent services at the ports as critical contributors to the growth of the economy.
And we shall continue to work assiduously in ensuring that we meet up our obligation in creating a customer-friendly environment for all of you.
Among issues raised by stakeholders to be addressed include, not but limited to poor access road leading to the ports, insecurity, as well as cargo and tariff deals.
There's no process in place to checkmate the securities that's telling us you can be kidnapped, nothing happens. We don't have road for heavy equipment to go.
In Onne, River State, Diba Barisiye Maweke, NTA News.
Softcom, an indigenous technology company and technical partner to the federal government on the NPower initiative, hosted a technology conference with the theme, Combating Poverty, Role of Technology in Driving Social Change in Africa. Dotun Ogunyemi reports that the conference seeks to advance technological solutions to aid socio-economic development in Nigeria.
Taking a cue from the NPower project, Nigeria can achieve Goal 1 of the Sustainable Development Goals to eradicate poverty by the year 2030 if technology is effectively utilized to drive social inclusion.
That today's potential offers us with technology is you can bridge the gap of access.
The Chief Executive Officer, Softcom, Yomi Adedeji, says 4 key parameters, namely identity, payment, data, and learning, are fundamental to achieving this.
Do I think we can solve the problem of poverty? Yes, I think we can. I think we're also in a moment of great opportunity. We have a lot of companies who are coming up with different innovations to address different specific problems. We have a society now with, we have some way to go, but access to internet connectivity is gradually improving. I think this provides us opportunity to reach more people. I think in attempting to combat poverty, what we must attempt to do is ensure that it's not one to all, it's one to few.
Senior Special Assistant to the President on Job Creation, Afolabi Imokwede, is optimistic that effective resource allocation and ecosystem development will help fast-track government's goals.
Technology is one of those platforms that affords us the system to be able to curb corruption, because what you really need to do is to ensure that you have controls and processes in place.
The NPower Impact Report was also launched at the event as a document guide for social economic development initiatives across Africa. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
The federal government has approved 600 billion naira as an intervention fund to boost power supply in the country. This was announced at a stakeholders meeting in Abuja. Mayor Ogidi reports.
We're tired of apologies. We want action.
Sites like this of people raising red flags, recounting the ordeals of staying without electricity, give the federal government concern. To calm such rising nerves and to industrialize the country through incremental increase in the power supply, the federal government, between 2015 and 2019, injected more than 1.5 trillion naira as intervention fund to boost the power situation in the country.
We know that the government has been intervening one time or the other. You can believe with me that in 2015-14, the government intervened with 213 billion. 2017, they intervened with 701 billion. Presently, they are contemplating, in fact, it's been signed, 600 billion. And these whopping sums of money had never been injected into TCN, NEPA, when in those days.
These efforts, no doubt, has boosted the power supply incrementally from 3,250 megawatts in 2015 to 6,750 megawatts in 2019. But those in the industry are not impressed with the performance of some of the 11 distribution companies in Nigeria.
Since 2015 till date, I tell you that the outstanding bill on the discos is approximately 250 billion outstanding.
We really need to get back to strengthen regulation of the sector. Government is trying with some policy intervention, but policy will not drive a regulated market.
On claims like this, one need to hear from the distribution companies. I approached many disco operators in this gathering of theirs, but none was willing to talk. Mayor Ogidi, NTA News.
Now to security matters. The Nigerian Air Force says it has continued to record success in airstrikes being conducted under Operation Green Sweep 3. In a statement by the NAF Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commando Ibukune Daramola says the latest of this is the destruction of a Boko Haram terrorist logistic base and assembly area at Bula Bello on the fringes of the Sambisa forest in Borno State. The operation was executed on 22nd August 2019 after intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance missions revealed that the settlement was being used by Boko Haram elements as a staging area to launch attacks against troops. Consequently, the ATF dispatched 2 Alpha jets and an Mi-35 helicopter to attack the identified buildings within the settlement where Boko Haram fighters were seen and scored direct hits on the desired points of impact, with total destruction in the follow-up strike by the Mi-35 attack helicopter. This is Network News on the NTA. Time now to link up with Naomi in Maiduguri for more reports. Hello, Naomi.
Hello, Jumai, and welcome to Maiduguri. Theatre Command Operation Lafia Dole, alongside the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, have burnt 4 vehicles loaded with smoked fish and hides and skin produced by Boko Haram terrorists for markets to support financing of the insurgency. The arrest and destruction of the goods by the security forces is to ensure all terrorist businesses are blocked. Abubakar Muhammad Musa reports.
The vehicles were confiscated by officers of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps from commercial drivers at Gamborun Gala trying to smuggle the items into Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. According to the Theatre Commander Operation Lafia Dole, Major General Olusegun Adeniyi and Assistant Commandant NSCDC Borno State Command Daladi Da Orong, investigations conducted revealed that the commodities belonged to Boko Haram insurgents, which were expected to be transported to Maiduguri for commercial purpose before the interception. They warned members of National Union of Road Transport Workers in the state and other collaborators to desist from engaging in unlawful activities in the name of ignorance.
I'm appealing to all law-abiding Nigerians. Do not take part in illegal fishing business.
With the desperation by the Boko Haram, some of the smoked fish were concealed inside animal feed in different sacks as newly adopted tactics of conveying goods by the insurgents. Meanwhile, the 4 commercial drivers arrested will remain in custody for further investigation. The setting ablaze of these items by the Nigerian military is one of the decisive steps taken towards flushing out the remnants of Boko Haram insurgents in the northeast region. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Muhammad Musa, NTA News.
Humanitarian agencies operating in Borno have been reassured of continued collaboration with the government towards improving the lots of internally displaced persons in the state. Governor Babagana Omara restated this while flagging off distribution of food items to 20,000 IDP households from 4 local governments taking refuge in Mongunu to mark the World Humanitarian Day. Muhammad Gwani reports.
Professor Babagana Omara spent 3 days in Mongono interacting with the residents and IDPs in the community, profiling IDPs from 4 local government areas of Guzamala, Nganze, Marte and Kukawa, as well as those from other settlements taking refuge in 13 camps. The profiling of the IDPs, which the governor personally supervised, include committing government officials and the beneficiaries to oath so as to ensure probity and transparency, as well as to avoid misappropriation of the commodities. While plugging up the distribution of the commodities, Professor Babagana Omara restated commitment to resettle IDPs in their home communities and paid tribute to the humanitarian workers who lost their lives in service to humanity, as well as officers and men of the Nigerian military and other security operatives who paid the supreme price in the counterinsurgency operations.
I'm also calling on the insurgents, the members of the Boko Haram sect, those who are willing to defend, that the government is willing to receive them. I personally assure them that the government will handle them diligently, rehabilitate them and reintegrate them into the society.
The governor equally commended the federal government, NEMA and SEMA, for the sustained efforts and further solicited continued support. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Maiduguri. Time now to take a break. Network News continues in Abuja.
Follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. All visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Welcome back. Ministry of Foreign Affairs has dismissed an alleged old video on social media of Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyema being chased out of a meeting with some members of the Nigerian community in the Embassy of Nigeria in Vienna, Austria. Elizabeth Omori reports.
Speak. A statement by the spokesperson of the ministry, Ferdinand Moy, says the incident captured in the video took place 3 years ago after a very pleasant and informative interactive session. A group of not more than 5 individuals complained that they had not been given the opportunity to speak. The minister prevailed on the organizers to allow a representative of the group to speak, and the fellow, when given the floor, unfortunately proceeded to make incoherent declarations against the unity of Nigeria. The Honorable Minister, in his response, condemned the glorification of conflict and admonished them that they were too young to appreciate the traumatic horrors of violent conflicts, as witnessed during the Nigerian Civil War. One of the young men took exemption of the Honorable Minister's peaceful disposition and was getting more agitated and vocal. At that point, the minister was ushered out of the meeting room as the meeting had already ended. In another development, the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission says it is deeply concerned about the news of the court indictment of 80 persons, mainly Nigerians in various parts of the U.S., being accused in separate FBI cases of massive email fraud and money laundering. A statement by the chairman of the commission revealed that prior to the court indictment of these 80 persons, of which Valentine Iro and Chukwudi Christogunis Igbokwe are lead suspects, Obinwane Okeke had earlier been arrested in Virginia. She says Nigeria acknowledges the fact that the accusation does not mean guilty and hopes that all the accused will be given fair and speedy trial. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
And from the world of sport, it's Sports Update.